We here, we here, we here. We here, we here, we here. What up, 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 what it do? One Piece 1191 is here. How we feeling? I didn't expect a chapter tonight. We've been getting on Fridays. I thought it was going to be tomorrow. Shout out to Breezy. Breezy sent it to me. I didn't even know. I didn't expect it tonight, bro. I was about to go watch Mutiny. I still could catch it. But how we feeling, y'all? Assemble. What up, Grizz? Appreciate you being here, fam. Prophet, Jets fan. Z, what's up, Z? Cruz, whatever. Jerron, what's happening, my boy? It's a crazy chapter. Frodo. I was told to stay off the internet, so I didn't really see anything. You know, it's one of those where like sometimes when a chapter is overwhelming, there's like chatter and people. It wasn't like that, so I don't know. I don't know for sure. Appreciate Jerron with the 20, Grizz with the 42. I appreciate it, my guys. Frodo with the 36, Kawada back like we never left, the 47. Apex, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, brother. I'm feeling good. X Savage with a 23. You saw the Saints. I didn't see the. Wait, no, I did. But dude got slammed. I saw it. Whatever with the 43. Arcane is fire. Appreciate you, Kaboom. Yeah. I just started because I'm trying to prepare for the new Avatar. So I haven't watched Avatar going on close to 2 decades. So I think it's time for a rewatch. So just started watching Avatar, The Last Airbender. And I don't know, man. It's just so much heart in that show. It's so good. The first 2 episodes, I'm just blown away. Bro. Worldwide popularity poll top 100 tomorrow. Yeah, we got to see what the GOAT is. We got to see where the GOAT ended up. You know what I'm saying? How I feel about Lanterns. I think Lanterns is a great show. Or good show so far. How Cal Chandler, that ending interrogation scene, splendid. I think in general, it feels like an investigative, just buddy cop show. It feels a lot more. Bro, he's a space cop, right? He's a space cop at the end of the day, but they're having it take place in this setting that it's kind of building it from the ground up. I like it. I like the route that they're going so far. I'm excited for episode 2. Diaz, if probably live in Gotham for a couple years, Invincible World. Shit. I might take my chances in Invincible. I feel like Gotham is probably more likely going to run into some bullshit in Gotham, right? I feel like in the Invincible world, when you have Viltrumites, where your world could end. I'm gonna go Invincible world. That's where I'm gonna go. Lanterns is good. It has potential. That's all you have on Barack Hussein Obama? It was such a good scene. I don't have my list yet, Kaboom. I just created a letterboxed. It's not completely set up yet, but I've been trying to log it as for especially especially for recent movies. So I just got to get it up to date with all the movies I've seen. So and I'm gonna make an anime list. We'll just try to have somewhere where I have everything kind of ranked because I'm watching more stuff nowadays. Um, the stuff that happens to Earth and Invincible is crazy. It is crazy, but I feel like where Gotham is so many more. Damn, only one episode of how Jordan kind of. Here's the thing, Frodo. The entire point is, I think this first season is going to be Hal Jordan's um passing of the torch to John. He's going to be in every episode, I believe, or at least most of the season. I think it just comes down to what we know and where it's going to go. But it's so much in between, you have no choice but to have him there. The prophecies, no spoilers, put respect to my goat this chapter. I don't even know who D's goat is, but random ass aliens always be popping up in Invincible World. You know what's happened to the NFL heavy this year? Bro, I've been that. I'm only tapped into the NFL heavy because of fantasy, but I'm tapped in. I was just watching the preseason game. Man. Brock, what's happening, man? The last 5 minutes were great. They were great. But I want to get to this chapter. Um, what time is it? It's 8. Yeah, the world could end in Invincible. Who am I drafting 101? It depends on the league. I play in a lot of quarterback heavy leagues where quarterbacks are just the most valuable position. So at 101, I take Josh Allen at 101. Yes, that's the last episode I've seen. But anyway, all right. One Piece chapter 1191. Loki's here. Alan, you got your tickets for Doomsday. Alan Lova, my guy with 47, my guy. You got your tickets for Doomsday yet? I haven't been this excited to get back into Marvel since Infinity War. Yes, I've already purchased my tickets for Doomsday. It's already purchased. Right? First show we there. I think it's like a Thursday afternoon at like 12:30. 21st or the 18th, something like that. But we here. You caught up on Bleach? Caught up on Bleach? No, I'm not. The plan is to rewatch the entirety of Bleach. So I'm not watching any of Bleach this season, unfortunately. Um, so that's next. That's next. But here we go. One Piece chapter 1191. Loki is here. Okay. Luffy wounded in the fierce battle with Emu. How am I still alive right now? Bro, we're asking the same question. Okay? We're asking the same question. I've been working on a Gear 5 video. We'll talk about you, Luffy. We'll talk about you. If I change back to normal, it'll be bad. So Luffy's basically saying that the only reason why he's still alive is because of Gear 5. He's saying in Gear 5 form, I'm a god. I'm a god. Hey, old man. Gramps. Damn it. Got an arm. Sorry you took that attack for me. Don't be stupid. I didn't do it for disappointment like you. I'm fighting for Elbath. I like that response. Oh, shit. I like that response. Because he's saying, yo, keep the main thing the main thing. What are you talking about? He's saying, keep the main thing the main thing. What are you talking about? I actually like that response a lot. Where it's not, he's not trying to make Luffy feel bad. He's just trying to keep him on like what's important. And what's important is the people of Elbath. And I'm fighting for them, and you are our last hope. And he keeps trying to motivate him by calling him a disappointment. There's no way I'm letting it end like this. What the hell are you going to do? Gramps, what is he? Well, his true nature seems to be a big secret. But if I had to put a word on it, I'd say he's God. Okay. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Because for all intents and purposes, he is right. Gabon is just a hard ass because he has to be for Luffy right now. Right? Personally, I think this happening to Gear 5 is the best thing that could ever happen. But I think this was always the intention. Like for Oda and all his conversation about I just want to make something to make me happy and going the Looney Tunes route. There's no way he didn't hear how people felt about Gear 5. So this is built into the story. Just the flaws of Gear 5 was intentional, are intentional. Or Oda pivoted and was like, all right. So here we go. All the animals are running. Whoa. It knocked him out. The Pirate King's crew. Hey, yo. Emu's. Damn. Was unforeseeable that those youths from God Valley would become such a nuisance. This continues the narrative of, or the drumbeat about God Valley and how God Valley, a lot of these characters ran into Zebek and Garp when they weren't close to their prime. Where it's saying like Emu's called, I mean, to Emu, everybody they're youths, right? But wow, he still got him on his back. He got him like Katakuri, just he gonna come back and save my mama and beat my mama. I do love the reframing though. Like we said, there was a lot of disrespect on Roger's name. It was so much disrespect on Roger's name. I'm loving. Whoa. Wait, what? I ought to have dealt with them along with rocks. Back then. What the hell? Wait, what am I looking at? Bro, this nigga got a second resurrection? Wait, so he wasn't serious? Okay, so what is this? Somebody just jumped out of a volcano. Okay. Okay. Owl Library, Realm of the Sun, basement near rear entrance. Thank goodness the books are okay. Yes, it's all thanks to Biblo. Chopper, I want you to try and talk to him. He sure looks like he's trying to tell us something, but really, he struck me as a silent type. Chopper's like, huh? Wait, wait. What am I looking at? So Gabon and Luffy. I'm I, I'm not sure. Wait, I'm not. Okay, hold on. To escape from Honebami with only an arm lost. How impressive. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oda's in the studio like, how can I make him look more demonic? Hmm. Here's the thing. Here's the thing though. He looks like he's a bit wider, a bit more girth. The thing with Honebami, of course, is going to make more sense later down, but this is why this is an example of why swordsmanship in One Piece is one of the weaker aspects of the show, because Honebami could have been revealed so long ago, right? Could have used Tashigi to reveal Honebami and what Honebami is, the lore of Honebami. Where now with Imu using this blade, it would have felt different with him saying to escape from Honebami with only arm loss. How impressive! Now it's like, okay, cool. There's no evidence to hold on to. There's nothing there. It's just like all trust on what Honebami could possibly be. So it's fine, but in effort to hype up the Roger Pirates, which I love, it it falls a bit flat. But it's good. It's positive. It's just like um that's my line. You walking off my attack is a blow to my rep. Now that I've got the hands to applaud now that I've got the hands to applaud you, the next attack will leave nothing behind. Is that him? He looks totally different. Somebody see got the LeBron build. Oh my gosh. Listen up, Straw Hat. Get your crew and leave Elbaf. Nah, Z, you're right. I'm thinking about Tashigi more than Oda. There's no way I'm doing that. You're barely better than a corpse at this point. You can't help us. I could say the same to you. How can you fight like that? Luffy's still not getting up. Honebami. It's no use. Run, Gramps. Gunge! Gungnir! You did. Listen. I applaud him. I applaud him for jumping back into the fray, considering what happened to his mans, right? Last time he saw what happened to his mans, but we had talked about this previously, saying Hyruden has to get a hidden. Hyruden has to get a hidden because of what Imu did to Harold. It's only right and narratively just makes sense for Hyruden to do something. He has to do something here. W's. Big, big W's. Oh, he sent him flying. And he uses Stigma. W's. 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 Some Mock Vice upscale. Oh, brother. Equals Dofi upscale. I'm not, listen, bro, at the end of the day, the narrative for One Piece is going to trump the quote unquote accurate power scaling. Harridan was clearly going to be a riser in this arc, and we've seen him so far. He's risen so much based on the things that he has done. And I think character wise, more than anything for me, him coming and knocking Emu off guard, uh, you know, I think is a good thing. He needed to get a hit in somewhere. It had to happen. So then Emu's sent flying again. Is that Stigma on his? There's no taking that a second. Yasan, how could this have happened? You've lost an arm? Thanks for the assist, Harridan. But this guy's immortal. I can't see a way of us winning this. Make sure Straw Hat Luffy gets out of here. Straw Hat, you don't have to butt in. I'm not gonna run. Listen to me. What can you do with those wounds? I'm gonna recover now. That's nuts. I ate a lot more. I ate a lot. I can make it happen. What kind of logic is that? You can't fight anymore. Hey, it's a bomb. Oh, God. Harridan! He's back. Listen. Harridan already did his big one, bro. He already did his big one. It's not much more you can ask from him at this point. He saved Luffy and Scopper's life. This is honestly what people wanted from Usopp. Get a hit in on Emu. That's it. I'm not mad at it, bro. I'm not mad at it. This is the future King of Elbaf. We good. He's back, Harridan. Fall back. Live to fight another day. Yasan, Elbaf won't bend the knee. A true warrior is always resolved to die in battle. Moron. Consider the fallout of your death. It's okay if I die. Loki's here. Wait, I've never seen this on Harridan before. Do y'all see that? Is that aura? Is that what that is? Okay. I still don't like the helmet. Right? I still hate the fish gill helmet. The fish fin helmet. I don't like it. But it's a good line. It's a good line. It's shown the growth, right? It's shown the growth in and the belief that he has now in Loki based on what he's found out. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it, bro. I'm here. Nah, he grew on me. He grew on me. I hated this nigga after Dressrosa, but he grew on me, bro. Well said, bro. Loki, get ready. I'm also back on my feet. What in the world are you guys? Gum. 3 generals. They're about to hit a sovereignty. Gokoku sovereignty. And even their relationship is getting closer because he's about to call him brother. Okay, all right. Yo, this about to sound like hate, but I promise it's not hate. It's not hate. I think Luffy should have sat this one out. I think I think Luffy should have sat this one out. He should have sat this one out. Oh, let them do their thing. But I get it though. I get it. I get it. I get why Luffy has to be a part of it. Let them cook. Let the brothers cook. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They having a brotherly moment. They're like, yo, we about to do this for dad. And Luffy's like, I'm back on my feet. And they're like, I guess. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. Ah. This was good. This was good. I think come the fuck on. Are you kidding me? All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point. Um, Yo, Bones with the 24. I appreciate it, my guy. The one age with the 44, they punched Emu into a break week. I think this is a great moment for Loki and Harden. Loki being back is cool as well. Yo ho ho with the 5 gift. I appreciate you, yo. Bones. I think it's because of One Piece Day. Honestly, bro, it's one of the situations where I don't even care what the reason is. It's just still annoying. But it's kind of like, it is what it is. Because I feel like, we had chapter break. You know? But hey, it is what it is. Savage Emperor, the 3 big dub. That's 3 big dubs to Big H one chapter. Nah, I agree. I agree with calling him Big H at this point. I actually agree with that. My Mr. Awesome Mock Vice upscale. I don't know if it works like that. Like, I don't know if it works like that. It doesn't, that don't work. We can't upscale somebody for something they did in the future. Because we don't know how hard they've been training. You know what I mean? Like, if Luffy goes on to beat Emu here, is that a Kaido upscale? Is that a Katakuri upscale? Because if we're playing that game, let's play it. No, seriously. If we're playing that game, let's play it. I still think Harden needs Mock Vice's Devil Fruit. I still think he should take it. I want him to get it. Big H Admiral level? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? To be honest, I don't even know what that means anymore. Probably. Probably. I don't. Y'all, we're getting closer to the second part of the year. See, on the second part of the year, that's when we start talking about the top 30, etc. So once we start getting there, And then when it's a combined or like assisted attack or moves, it's hard to state it and say, hey, this is how strong somebody is based off of that. I think this is just a great moment for Harden. I don't know if it does anything for his personal upscaling as far as his strength, but it's just a good moment, you know? And most moments in One Piece now, even when fights are involved, I don't automatically attach power scaling to it because for all intents and purposes it's not gonna matter, you know? Now for our conversations that we have, I'm filing it away, right? I'm filing it away for the fun conversations, but is hired in admiral caliber now. If Oda can just power up characters, why doesn't he do this shit for the weak straw hats? I don't think he powered up necessarily. I think he just caught Emu at a right time at a right angle, right? We know giants are physically strong, you know. He just caught him. He just caught him slipping, you know. Breezy, I mean, I agree with you, but I'm past it with the power scaling in One Piece. So Hiron didn't get a power boost. He was launching 10k tons in Dressrosa. He just got there in time. That's all it is. He got there right in time. I think if anybody got a power scaling boost in this chapter, I think is how we probably view the Roger Pirates. I think that stock is continuously going up. Harden is the RPG character to put all his stat points into strength. He did send 10,000 tons flying. I'll be honest. It's like so many feats in One Piece, they can be viewed as arbitrary and just like whatever. That's how I treat most of Harden's feats. I think Harden is he's a he's an event, right? He's an event. That's what Harden is. Like what's necessary, he's going to be able to do. And I think honestly, that's what most One Piece fights kind of are. They're just events. They're like cutscenes, you know, where what's necessary is going to happen. Like we know Luffy and Scalper wasn't going to take another major attack there, so somebody had to step up. I do like the ankle break though. I love the ankle break of when that moment is about to happen. Of course, I'm thinking about the title of the chapter and like, oh, so Loki's going to show up. Here comes Harden, and Harden is okay with sacrificing himself because Loki's here. That was great. That was great. What did the leaker say, Breezy? The right, the right, Dwight Man Black with the 24 said, "Assemble." We here, buddy. Waka. Big H over Zoro and Sanji. King is Elizabella might be able to wound Emu with prep time. Gabon looks great. Sad that we be seeing chapters monthly at this point. Um, yeah, Gabon looks amazing. I think he looks amazing in hindsight. Whatever Prime Gabon looks like, whatever the Roger Pirates look like, whatever Roger looks like, it's spectacular. Big H over Zoro and Sanji. I wouldn't put Big H over Zoro and Sanji if he got twice as strong as he is now. I'll be honest with you. Maybe that's Zoro and Sanji glaze, but if Harden got twice as strong as he is now, I still got Zoro or Sanji. That's how I feel. But I love Harden though. I think Harden is one of those characters where I don't really care about how strong he is. I think morally, just what he represents, who he is, I just love him. Like I love him now, right? He's solid. He's so damn solid. So, nah. Wait, what did they say? It said Zoro versus Summers chapter, and Luffy recovered all of his injuries with food. If either Zoro or Sanji did this, the haters of those characters would be calling this bullshit unrealistic. Brian, you're not wrong, but I think people would call it unrealistic because of the hives, not because of the chapter. Zoro fans be calling it unrealistic if it's Sanji. Sanji fans be calling it unrealistic if it's Zoro. That's all it is. So I don't think, I don't think there's an issue there. We just know how they operate. Nah, he's Big H now. No, Harridan has been freaking awesome this arc. I think including the flashback and how much he stepped up. Now, I did get on him after he saw was it Stanson. Stanson got cleaved. He was like, "Oh, well, here I go again." No, bro. You got to understand, like, you're not a star player. You got to pick your spots. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Tony Snell started going between the legs, I'm like, bro, chill out. You got to pick your spots. Big H picked his spot. And look at this. Look at what you can do. So now he's like, no, my little big brother here. So I'm cool. I'm cool. You see, that's the thing. That's the thing, Caster. You don't know how much I hated Harridan before. You don't know how annoyed I was with Harridan before. And Harridan started to look so terrible after I saw Harold and I saw Loki. I was like, what are you doing, Harridan? Why are you here? This boy glowed up. He's done good. He stepped up. He stepped up big time. I'm impressed. I'm personally impressed. Yeah, he knocked down a corner three. And now he's in a pick and roll, right? He's hedging. Come on, yo. You gotta give him props. You gotta give him his props, bro. He was ass. He was, especially with his ambitions, what we knew there were. Come on, bro. He's back, baby. Oda been in his fighting bag since Emu pulled up. I'm trying to think. Here's the unfortunate part, bro. Yo, shout out to Young Smoke with the 50 freaking gifted, man. Young Smoke coming through, dropping the gifteds. I appreciate you, Smokey. I appreciate it, Smokey. I've been reading some old One Piece fights, right? Because I'm working on a video about something. So I've been going back reading old One Piece fights, and I'll be honest, guys. I'll be honest. The the thing that makes One Piece fights good isn't really the fights, is the emotional impact and the build up to these fights and what they mean. The actual fights is, they've always been kind of just okay, but I think those fights matter to us because of the impact behind it, right? So I think in this bag, Loki and Harridan and them doing their thing is just as impressive as far as like even Scopper and Luffy, because of the weight behind them now working together, because this is what Harold saw. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, but like when I think about One Piece fights, the best we've ever seen as far as choreography is Luffy versus Kaido. And there's some category aspects as well. But in general, yo, shout out to Smoke for another 50. Yo, Smokey coming through and showing love. Smoke, I appreciate you, Smoke. Big W some Smokey, man. Hey, if you got a gift from Smoke, just say thank you. If you got a membership from Smokey, just say thank you, bro. Just say thank you, dog. Just say thank you. Yo, Smokey, my guy, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Luffy versus Lucci. Here's the thing: Luffy versus Lucci had good choreography when it happened, right? I've read other manga since then. Wait, Caster, gassing what? This has nothing to do with choreography. I don't like this before because of choreography. What am I gassing? This isn't about choreography. It's about the story, and it just kind of coming full circle. Yeah, that'd be fun. What about Garp and Roger versus Rocks? That was okay. That was okay. That was okay. So I think Luffy versus Lucci, it was great for the time it came out. I think in hindsight, it's good. Um, but like it's like when you, I think when you think of, but when I think of One Piece fights and things that move me, it's like the build up, the what led into it, um, the components of the fight. I think back then One Piece, the composition was a bit cleaner, you know. Um, I don't think Smoke. I'll be honest. I don't think Oda was looking at it that way, right? I don't think Oda's looking at it as he's killing Roger's aura. That's what happened, to be honest. That's exactly what happened. But I think he was kind of trying to bring more character to Roger, kind of humanize the legend a bit. Because it wasn't his story, he didn't want to go the power or strength angle, so he gave him another angle for fans to kind of enjoy. But what happened was people kind of took it too far, and now they started downing Roger, saying he's just a gooner. Yeah, I don't think at any point back then when I was reading or watching One Piece, I had any One Piece fights over most Bleach and Naruto fights. But that's just what it was back then, right? That's just what it was back then. But as far as the emotional impact, One Piece is number one. As far as the impact of what the fights meant, One Piece was number one. There are a few Naruto fights, but as far as emotional impact, but in general, it wasn't close. Yeah, it wasn't close. It wasn't close. So it's just about what you value, bro. It's just about what you value. I think at this point, like I told y'all, I just care about how things are resolved. Um, I just want it to mean something. I want it to mean something. I want to feel something. I as far as the choreography for One Piece fights, that's not why I'm here. I I just want to feel something. That's where I am with it. I'm not. I think I said it um months ago that I'm not excited for one singular fight in One Piece. Probably just Zoro versus Mihawk because I think Oda has to deliver with that fight. I mean, he could blow it by just making it a single clash thing, whereas it comes down to just who gets the hit in first. It could be super simple like that. He could simplify it so it doesn't have more weight than everything that's happening at the final stages of the story. But I think that's the one fight that he has to deliver, in my opinion. Other than that, I think mostly every major fight are gonna have caveats and groups and interjections and interruptions. And that's what I think is gonna happen. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think every single major fight that we can think of going in the future is just gonna have a bunch of different components to it. So I Give me the story. One Piece and I'm tired of Oda doing this ham-fisted bullshit. Caster, talk to me. What do you mean? When Luffy has to use ACOG and base after his fruit gets nullified. So Oda would stop nerfing characters. Bro, I think say sounds like cope. No, I used to that is an angle, right? That is a way to look at it that is just cope for the story. But I look at it as more growth, right? Where I'll be honest, Neptune, Devil. I'm consuming so much good shit right now. I just finished the Dark tournament. I'm consuming so much good shit right now. Bro, I'm fed, right? I'm full. I'm full. I just watched episode 7 of the last season of Better Call Saul, which could be arguably one of the best, if not the best episode I've seen in a TV show ever. I'm rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. The Cell game's about to start up. I listen, man. Listen. I'm just content. I'm content. I agree. I agree that times have changed, and I think the expectation has been raised. I think people are expecting more out of One Piece because everything else around it has raised. The standard has raised. That's why people were so excited for One Piece to go seasonal because they're like, well, I'm looking at Solo Leveling, I'm looking at JJK, I'm looking at I'm looking at Demon Slayer, I'm looking at these anime and the jump in animation, and I'm like, they're like, yo, One Piece, what we doing? And One Piece has made that jump. Now, Invincible as well. Invincible. I'm watching the last season of Invincible. Bro. So, but I think for a lot of people, it's like, yo, One Piece, what are we doing? We go to seasonal, and let's be honest, bro. The first half of Elbaf or the beginning of Elbaf is not much to work with. I think the moments that they had that they could do well with, I think they did great with. Right? I think they did an amazing job with. For the most part, the beginning of Elbaf, it's whatever. So I think at the end of the day, once we get to that flashback, it's gonna go crazy. Invincible animation is ass. I think Invincible has like the moments where it's necessary. Like I enjoyed Conquest versus Mark and Eve. I thought that was great. But even Invincible, the power scaling is cooked. Where I'm like, why is this happening? So, but I do get it. I do get it when people. But I don't know. I don't know what Caster's issue with this chapter is. Um, no, I think Oda has to deliver on Luffy on Zoro versus Mihawk. I think he has to. I think he has to. Shadows with the 50. Appreciate you, Shadows. Said wasn't killing Rogers or so I guess now you want to understand that Oda doesn't deliberately make relevant people look bad to make the community shit on them. Unless you change with you saying that Mihawk looks bad in certain moments when involving Shanks. Wasn't killing Rogers or so I guess now you want to understand that Oda doesn't deliberately make relevant people look bad to make the community shit on them. Unless you change with you saying that Mihawk looks bad in certain moments when involving Shanks. I don't even understand what the point is, Shadows. I don't. I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question. I don't understand the statement. I don't understand the intent. I swear it's about to end like Sabaody. I don't think it can. I don't think it can. I don't think it can. Yeah, I don't understand what shadows means. Wait, shadows did say something earlier because I said swordsmanship is the weakest, one of the weakest aspects of One Piece. I don't know if Shadows is a Mihawk fan, so maybe he took that as a slight. Um, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the power scaling in Invincible is weird. Where it goes, where I'm like, Mark, oh, Mark has gotten 150% stronger, and then he's getting mopped by a centipede. I'm like, what the fuck? So if he didn't get, he be worked. I don't know. Plenty of people have been unhappy for One Piece a long time too. Probably going back to how Wano ended. Here's what I'm not. Here's what I'm never gonna do. I'm never going to crap on people's feelings about a story that they care about, right? There are a lot of people that are prominent that I know, I won't disclose who they are, that they don't make One Piece content anymore. Well, they still do. But there are people that I know that they hate where One Piece is because they feel like it's a shell of itself, right? But they adore the story and they're here till the end. They just don't love what's happening, you know? I think he interpreted that you don't think Roger lost aura in a Rock's flashback, and if you don't, then you got to be consistent. Say Mihawk ain't lose aura for shit like Vista. I think when it comes to Roger losing aura in God Valley, that's a character thing. Mihawk, first of all, Mihawk versus Vista has always been a joke, right? So at the end of the day, when if you're seriously arguing or trying to defend people from using Vista versus Mihawk as an argument, Vista versus Mihawk as an argument, you're too deep into it. You're just way too deep into it because nobody is putting Vista top 10. That is a joke. But as far as losing aura, one's a character thing and one's a spar, but it's a joke. So I don't. He's saying you said what of what? I think he means the moments of Emu looking weak. Roger started getting slandered because it seemed like he was second fiddle in what it should have been his era, and was as dominant as the story made people believe, which is just community headcanon. But it wasn't his flashback. Shadow said a character thing, a joke. Then why did you want Mihawk to one shot Visa to prove your point? Shadows, I'll be honest, bro. I don't care about Mihawk this much to make Mihawk the center of this stream. This stream got nothing to do with Mihawk. How special can Mihawk be right if the word gonna make it just make more clones? I don't buy the data book saying Vista and Mihawk are equals in Marineford because they also say that. Yeah, I don't care that much. Roger was young in that flashback. Yeah, I mean even this chapter is kind of saying that as well. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but I don't think those two things are even equal with Roger in the flashback or Mihawk in Marineford. Yeah. Casters. I would just say, bro, dropping 50,000 economy to glaze Mihawk is psychotic work. I mean, listen, man. He likes Mihawk. So again, why do you view it like that? It was just a super chat question. View what? Like what? I don't know. These breaks are bogging down the hype. We are fighting the potential final villain. It feels like we're moving in slow motion. Kinda. My fault. I'm driving while trying to explain. Bro, do not drive and comment, dog. Do if you gotta do it, wait at the light. Do it at the light. Emu top one though. Blackbeard not final villain. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Zoro used to be like, yo, bro, them swords painted black too. Niggas be willing to die about this shit. Online. Yeah, he's not commenting, he's analyzing comments too. Says Shadow's a smoke demon. Everybody a smoke demon online. Homie said he paid $50. Agree with him. We use OP breaks. We do some bocce vids. Um, I'm working on a Yu Hakusho video. So I don't know. He said because he's trying to press Brago to be consistent with Mihawk, even though Mihawk's situation is entirely different. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like I think for some people it's just like for some characters, people are gonna view them differently than you do. And you can't try to force somebody's your views on somebody else about how they view a character. And I think for Shadow specifically, he knows I like Shanks. So he always brings up Mihawk, even though I like the character, as a way to say, no, you need to like Mihawk more. I will never like Mihawk more. No matter what you do or what you say. I will never like Mihawk more than Shanks. And I like Mihawk a lot. But like I don't know why we keep comparing and try to change how somebody feels about a character. Bro, it's cool. He said it doesn't have to be extreme as to say I'm a fan of Mihawk on that. I'm just trying to make your stream. I was just asking a question because I see some dishonesty. Dishonesty. Yeah. If I want to assume that about you, it's not an assumption. It's evidence. Red and Silver 741 joined Famo. I appreciate you, my guy. Yo, Hap with the 47. How was the chapter just pulled up? The chapter was good. Chapter was good, but we're on break again. So that's where we are. Send me out my Goldie's top four in the verse, in my opinion. However, I ain't gonna make a spat ass argument that got no relevancy towards a different point. Yeah, I think if you think Shanks claps Mihawk or Mihawk claps Shanks, I don't think it matters. Mihawk is a cool character, but he hasn't been relevant to anything over 10 years. Also, Zoro over King means should be stronger than Whitebeard's crew, not including Whitebeard. But that's what I'm saying, bro. But that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like I don't see the point. So he's mad you said he's a Mihawk fan, but he is. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think what's he's mentioned dishonesty. I think the dishonest part from Shadows is trying to paint the narrative or the picture like if I'm constantly shitting on Mihawk. When I feel like I give Mihawk his just due all the time, it's just that when it comes to that thing that of course, drums up a lot of the arguments, that's the one thing that Shadows doesn't like. It Shanks. I would have it'd be a top 30. I have Shanks at 1 and I have Mihawks at Mihawks. I have Mihawk at 3 and then niggas mad. Why is he not 1? But he's not he's 3 not 2? So But this is the internet. Unless you agree, you're wrong. 1989. Wait, 1989 Manuel Flores with the 5. Anime filler messes people's headcanon. Vista blocked Mihawk from attacking Luffy, and then Mihawk retreated because the walls were going up, no sparring. Yeah, I think if the Vista thing was serious, um Vista would be in top 30s. Vista's not even top 30s. Nobody thinks Vista can actually beat Mihawk, bro. But I get it from that side. You hear Vista, you know, Shadow's probably been defending Mihawk on the internet for a long time. That's probably the bane, right? The bane of his existence. Are we all dreaming? I like that name. I'm not 100%. This form of emu is more powerful than before, since in DBZ Vegeta makes the points. Big and bulky isn't better. He may be running out of time. Big and bulky isn't better, but it's more powerful. Like it's just he has more power, right? But maybe he's not more efficient, right? Maybe he's more efficient in the other form. Maybe he's trying to get it done quicker, so he bulked up a little bit. Maybe. Disco between Miss and Elito and the chapter beyond was right. They say Brago don't apologize. Apologize to who? Spoiling your list? Steve-O, no, 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 no. No. Not at all. Not at all, Steves. I might have a new number one this top 30. Only time I see you troll Mihawk is when Mihawk fans say something crazy. That's the only time. I only get petty when they get petty. My thing is, why does someone have to be labeled a fan if you're asking about someone or perceived to be defending someone? You don't know me respectfully to say that. But you don't know me. You don't know me. I just see every time. First of all, when we mentioned swordsmanship earlier in the stream, you said something about here go King of Lightning and Braga not understanding swordsmanship in One Piece again. Whatever swordsmanship is in One Piece. And now you're drilling home this Mihawk point. Why is Mihawk even a conversation? Maybe that was a conversation around the spoilers because Zoro's supposed to be in a chapter, but like because I said Roger didn't lose or first of all, I said Roger did lose aura. I said that wasn't the intent. I don't think that was the intent by Oda. You said your super chat wasn't killing Roger's aura. I said it did. It actually did affect Roger's aura because people kind of down him for the gooning. So I don't even. So just the premise of your question is wrong. Got some comic runs to read for you, Brago. Watershed Down, I Hate Fairyland, Beneath the Trees, and Black Sad. I'm gonna screenshot this. Say less, say less, say less, say less. Got you, Google me. We even talking about Big H, man. New York niggas are the equivalent of nigga walking into the function. Everybody grown and the whole vibe shift. Where my hug ass nigga. Niggas start doing push-ups and shit in the middle of the party. Like, bro, what is you doing? Stop killing the vibe. Wore the ship down. Okay. First form is a blob. Second form is a physical, 2 horns. Third form is the enlarged physical, 4 horns, just like Frieza. Now the final form. Now what would that look like? That's his perfected form. So have I ever labeled you anything? You're saying you sense dishonesty, and you're pressing this hard because you think I'm being dishonest. So you're labeling me as dishonest. Yes. The Princess Bride. I have seen the Princess Bride. I have seen the Princess Bride. I really understand why Zoro and Mihawk are the only fools to actually be serious about the blade. Don't we all, bro? Don't we all? If the Uncle Ruckus don't, please don't start playing. We walking and we failed. Outlaw King with the 46 Emo's done so many impressive things that honestly, the thing that makes me respect him the most is the readiness to let off a counterattack. That is true. That is true. He's always going to get his shit off. He always leaving with something. And without noticing, it became a Mihawk segment. No, I think here's the beginning and end of it. Right. I think no matter what, because I mean I know a lot of people that are Mihawk fans, Mihawk stands, and we're cool. But I think for some Mihawk fans, no matter what, um, unless you agree that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks, you're retarded. Zikor, you might be right. You might be right. Hombami, Homebani over Yoru. Mihawk did say the strongest black blade. Emu's giant form of Miro is way bigger than Nidhogg. She has another form. You think his next form is going to be larger? That's crazy. For first hard in stock boost, we talk about some Mihawk. That's just, I think that's just the community, kinda. But I think also a part of it is me feeding into it because I could have just ignored it. But Shadows was intent on defending Mihawk's honor, so I wanted to acknowledge it because it's just like I think how I view Mihawk, um, is kind of the general consensus. Mihawk is cool. I like the character. I'm expecting a lot from the character. It's just nothing there right now outside of toxicity when we talk about Mihawk. And that's the unfortunate part. Honestly, the title of World's Greatest Swordsman is pretty much useless to me. Hawk. The title ensures him a job with the world government as a warlord, but working on the buggy, and it makes Hawk a circus attraction. I think that removes all the context, though. So that's a bit unfair. Really, talking about how sorry Usopp still is. How the fuck did Hired put up more points, more stats in one chapter in the last 8 years? Give him time. Nah, bro, that nigga put 50 on the board. He wasn't letting that shit go. That's my thing. I think it's kind of like Shadow said he's not passionate about it. He said that's not like, why am I labeling him? I'm like, bro, it's okay. I think there's nothing wrong with being passionate about something as long as it's channeled the right way. That's what I'm saying. Where I think sometimes the targets and the points get missed. Big Age got more aura than Luffy right now. I mean, Luffy's the main character. He's going to get it back. How do you feel about the regen, though? Where Luffy's saying he's going to basically saying he's recovering just because he wants to. Now, I never really care about MCs recovering because that's just the nature of the business. They're going to push through. So I think it's a nothing burger, personally. No, I think, bro, I think they said that's not new. You used to do that. Yeah, I don't think it's an issue. Not gonna lie, that's what people were killing in the leaks for. They said he regained by eating and started saying 2026 Oda would given Ace some food. It would have healed him Marine Ford. I mean, he didn't eat food to heal, but he's saying that because of the food he ate, he can heal. So yeah, that's what he said. I ate a lot. I can make it happen. So basically, he's channeling his food into potions. There are other devil fruits that can heal. Emu can do a million things. It doesn't really break it for me. I I don't necessarily care about Luffy healing. Right? I don't care about Luffy healing per se. More than I care about how I feel when I see Gear 5 in fights. Because here's a news flash. If Emu can't put Luffy down, nobody can put Luffy down. I think that's the I guess I wish Gear 5 felt better. I wish Gear 5 felt better. If Oda doesn't kill Shanks, he kills Shamrock, which is sad because he never meet his nephew in Fuchsia Village. If that's his nephew. Because that could be Ben Beckman's kid. Zoans can heal, I think, but I think Luffy's coping this chapter. I don't care if Luffy heals or recovers. I don't that's MC stuff. I don't care about that. Um I think in totality, eh. In totality, Gear 5, like I had Gear 5 as far as the forms of Luffy that I love, it's third. Right? For me, Gear 5 is third. It's Gear fourth. Or if you're getting even more specific, it's lower. But if Gear fourth and then base, actually no. Gear fourth, Gear second, base, then Gear 5. Um what if I say Gear 5 is perfect for Luffy in the story, but the fights with it could be better? What if I say Gear 5 doesn't provide anything that Luffy couldn't provide before that form? In the story, I get it. But for me personally, like for instance, Gear 5 is used because the goal is to put smiles on people's faces in the story and outside of the story. I feel like Luffy is doing that no matter what. Luffy is doing that regardless in different forms to put smiles on people's faces. I think what Gear 5 does, what Gear 5 is in comparison, is somebody that's saying, hey, I want to make you laugh, but they're not a comedian. So now it's forced, right? It's more compulsive where it just becomes too much. Now, I think there's some reworking in progress for Gear 5. I'm not saying Oda changed his mind, but there's no way Oda didn't hear or see the reaction to a lot of the community as far as Gear 5 and what it does for the tone. I think another stage for Gear 5 is coming, which would maybe he's already presented a sun god that's kind of like the god of destruction. So I think that's a way in which you can save that by having Gear 5 having an alternate personality in some way. Say rubber surrounding. If I told you that Luffy could unlock rubber surroundings and impacting that in Gear 4th, you wouldn't say that's crazy. You'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense for the next step for Gear 4th or Luffy. To be honest, Luffy shouldn't even need Gear 5 to affect the surroundings by rubber. He should be able to do that in base. Yeah, I recently reread the Kaido fight. I reread the Lucci fight. I reread the Kizaru fight, the Egghead fight, and some of the Emu fight. It's too much. It's too much. Luffy wouldn't be able to make bats out of thin air though, or goggles. So be it. If we don't have that to maintain, I think what we lost with Gear 5, so be it. All right, let me put it in perspective because I'm working on this video. Does Gear 5 make the fight versus Arlong or the encounter versus Arlong better or worse? Nami's crying. She's she's digging her skin. Does Gear 5 make that better or worse? Or if you go to Rob Lucci, Usopp screams. After that, that entire encounter, Luffy's in Gear 5. Does that make it better or worse? In Gear 5, in Sabaody, With the whole thing with Kami, he goes Gear 5. Does that make it better or worse? After Ace dies, Luffy goes Gear 5. Does that make it better or worse? I, I think it's unfair to put Gear 5 in prior situations. Why? I don't think I just think what Luffy provides, I don't think Gear 5 enhances. Better because he's a sun god, the sun pirates, Fisher Tiger worshipped. Oh, brother. I think it's like saying if 2026 Kyrie was in 2016 Cavs, the team would make it better or worse. No, no. I think against Emu Gear 5 is needed. I think against Emu Gear 5 is needed because that's all we have. But the thing is, Gear 5 could have been anything. I don't think anybody hates what the power of Gear 5 is, right? That's not the issue here. Nobody's discounting the power that Gear 5 provides Luffy. The only thing that rubs people the wrong way is the everything about Luffy's personality that comes with it. Hey, Google me. I got you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Have a good weekend, man. Yeah, I don't think I don't know, bro. Yeah, I am Waka. I am. I'm not saying Gear 5 is bad, but I think the personality swing has been unnecessary. Because, bro, when I'm going back, I'm reading Luffy's moments. Obviously, the Vivi moment, the Sabaody moment, even the moment in Egghead before he goes Gear Fourth when he confronts Kizaru, Enies Lobby. It's just even when Luffy's goofy, it's because he is who he is. That's who he is as a person. What Gear 5 does is it enhances it and it forces it. So it feels like he has to be that way no matter what. Like after Rob Lucci stabbed um what's his name? The I was about to call him something. Um I forget his name. He looks like a woman. He thick. Gear 5 takes away Pitbull Luffy. It feels like it forces Caster? Not Caster. Sentomaru. 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 After Rob Lucci stabs Sentomaru, everybody's like worried, and Luffy's eyes are popping out of his head. And it's like, okay, And all those moments you just mentioned, Gear 5 makes it hard to recapture those kinds of moments in his fights going forward because mentally he's not on that type of time anymore. What type of time you mean? Promise we get here fast if he said fat instead of thick. You're right. I think discounting how important it is for people to have a symbol, being a reincarnation of Nika means something. Luffy was already a symbol, right? I think Luffy was already a symbol before Gear 5 for us and for people in the story. I think hammering down this Nika thing and the symbolic nature of it as far as bringing smiles to people's faces. Here's the thing about it, right? No matter fucking what, if somebody's liberated, it will bring smiles to their faces. It's not about the process, it's about the result. If Luffy does all this goofy shit and they lose, smiles will not be on people's faces. That's a fact. Smiles on people's faces because they're liberated. Not because this nigga is putting balloons in his asshole. At least that's how I view it. Y'all can let me know if I'm wrong. I think whatever the power that Gear 5 gives Luffy is going to be necessary to fight Emu. The personality enhancement, I think it takes away from some of my favorite moments that we've had in the story. Now, the anime does a great job in certain moments of Gear 5. I ain't gonna lie. The anime kills it sometimes with Gear 5. I don't know, the process matters. If Dragon liberated by slaughter, people wouldn't mess with it. People would not care. If Dragon liberated people by slaughtering the people that were oppressing them, nobody would care. Trust me. Wait. Actually, here's the thing, bro. I think people respect Dragon more. I think people would respect Dragon more if he was killing people. If he was literally liberating people and packing up these celestial dragons, people would respect him more. I think. I don't like I don't hate Gear 5. I understand Nika and the symbolism of it and what it means for people to be liberated, and that's something to believe in, and what it when it shows up is gonna bring joy, etc. etc. To me, to me personally, Luffy was already Nika based on how he was as a character and as a person. To me, outside of the story. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think just Luffy, how he went about things, how free he was, how frivolous he was about certain situations, how he knew when to step up, how he knew when to lock in, right? How certain situations Luffy's like, I don't care. Luffy was on the spectrum before Gear 5. But the beautiful thing about it is that shift, you waited for that shift. Right? That's what made Luffy himself, because you waited for that shift where when it was like, all right, Luffy's not fucking around no more. Everybody's waiting because he's been kind of meandering and he was giving the villain a chance. But then once Luffy locks in, all right, we sitting up in our chairs. What Gear 5 does is Luffy's locked in, but then he's still on early arc bullshit. Which I'm like, okay, okay, okay. So I think with Kaido, when Gear 5 showed up, it matched the dark cloud that Kaido had. Right? It matched that dark cloud because Kaido was just so on the opposite end that what Luffy presented, it was like, okay, I can work with this. But everybody ain't Kaido. Yo, Kaido was so sure of himself. After he boxed Gear 5 for a little bit, he said, "You all right, kid. I'll make sure they tell stories of this battle." Luffy's like, "I don't give a shit about that." Kaido was laughing at him. But it worked. It worked versus Kaido. So would Rooftop Luffy right before Gear 5 have gotten one-shotted by Emu? I'd say no. So I would say Luffy just ain't locked in sometimes in Gear 5. I agree with that. It's just, you want that feeling of the moment and Luffy understanding the moment. Yeah, Kaido felt like he still could beat Luffy after boxing Gear 5. He felt like, he was like, my nigga, you think ability is the only way to conquer the world? Man, I love Kaido, bro. Now, I don't. Here's the thing, though. Here's something that made Kaido worse for me lately, y'all. It made Kaido worse. And I'm just like, damn. Then I'm going to go. Kaido's whole thing was about strength and about dying in a great war and about ambition and about meaning. That's one thing people don't say a lot. Kaido was about meaning. He wanted meaning to his life and his death, right? And I think people search for meaning in both of those things, but Kaido wanted to find meaning in both. And in Kaido's mind, death was the meaning that he would have in his life, to his life, right? After watching the Dark Tournament, Toguro is who Kaido thinks he is. That's my hot take. I don't even think it's hot. I don't even think it's hot. Toguro is who Kaido thinks he is. And I love Kaido. I'll ride for Kaido. But, bro, Toguro was a smoke demon. You feel me? And he said he wanted to fight the strongest nigga out there. Toguro would go around beating up all the strongest niggas and say, join my team. I want you close to me so it can fuel you to be stronger so I can beat your ass again. I'm going to put you right next to me. I'm going to turn my back. And I'm going to disrespect you. Get stronger. Fight me. Oh, the tournament's, the stage is destroyed? Oh, it's going to take a few days or a long time for us to keep fighting? I'm going to go walk and pick up the tournament stage and bring that bitch back so we can keep fighting. Fuck is you talking about? Are you kidding me? You're not taking this seriously. I'm gonna kill your mans in front of you so you can take this seriously. Oh, you're not serious enough? I'm gonna kill you. He's really like that. He's really like that. Toguro is really like that. And he would, bro, and he wanted to smoke with everybody. Everybody. But there's also meaning in everything he was trying to do. And there's also things that he realized about himself that he wanted to use Yusuke to realize. And he had lessons that he was teaching Yusuke through the mistakes that he made. Like I said, you see, like Kaido, because he's a walking contradiction. I don't think Kaido's a contradiction. I think Kaido is a slave to his own ideals. Right? I think Kaido is caught up in his own story and he wants to control how it begins and how it ends, but he wants people to perceive it the same way. I think Kaido truly believed the things that he was saying. I really think he believed it. Right? And I think there are a lot of characters in One Piece that way that, and that's probably one of the best things about One Piece is that's why blanket statements don't matter. That's why when you say, when a character says this, it is not a definitive statement because that's just one perspective. Right? And I think those are the flaws within those characters that kind of makes them more likable. You know what I mean? Kaido always want to fight and smoke, but how come Kaido never found Loki and Loki was sailing around for 8 years? Ain't Elbaf east from Wano? Kaido didn't want to just fight people. Kaido wanted a hero send-off. Like, Kaido doesn't realize it, but he wanted to be somewhat of a martyr. Like, I don't think Kaido understood that he was in his own way to get the thing that he wanted the most. So there's a lot that you can take from Kaido's character, but I think the main thing that people take away is that Kaido was the strongest. He wanted to be the strongest. That's Toguro. That's Toguro. I think Kaido doesn't. Kaido was the kid that had a dream of what it meant to be great. He had a dream and a feeling or a thesis of what Roger was, built up by the people around him, built up by what he heard, what he saw, and he wanted to be lauded like Roger. He wanted his death to mean something. He wanted his death to spur something. So it has to be big enough. Like, he wanted to manufacture the impact that Roger had without doing what Roger did. It's almost like Roger was so great to Kaido that he wanted to emulate him, and because of the impact that Roger had on the world, Kaido wanted that for himself. But the thing is, that's kind of the thing, right? That's not what Roger wanted. That's just what happened. It's almost like chasing being a hero. It's almost like being a leader, right? You're kind of chosen. Like Luffy, as much as Luffy denounces the moniker, the title of hero, the more heroic he is. And we can use loose statements about Luffy and meat and blah blah blah. Like sometimes it just is what it is. So, I think Kaido's a great character to dissect. I don't think he's a I don't think the execution for Kaido was done the best way. Was Kaido ring chasing? Kaido wanted the fanfare without the ring. Right? Like, for instance, Kaido wanted to celebrate the NBA championship, but he didn't want to play in the NBA. Because here's the thing. It's kind of like if I'm thinking about if I how can I have my name ring through the heavens more than anything, I can't just do what Roger did. I have to exceed it. I agree, Prophecy. I agree. The analysis of his character fills the gaps, but in general, for general consumption, Kaido's character is not going to come up when you think of well written villains in anime or um in media, right? Kaido wanted that love. Kaido wanted a Kobe send off, right? He wanted that. That's the thing. Kaido didn't want to die, bro. He didn't want to die. That's not what he was chasing. He was not chasing death. Death is not what Kaido was chasing. There are a lot of ways Kaido could have died. But the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, I'm like, you know what? The allure of his characters in the more in the depth of it. And I think the allure of Kaido's characters in everything that he wasn't. I think Kaido is a lot of people, right? Um where there are a lot of people in the world that are searching for meaning to their life. And I think there are a lot of people that are inspired by certain things, and especially in this era of social media, you're inspired by certain things, so you start emulating certain things, and you start trying to take shortcuts through certain things to get the fanfare that you see someone else getting, but it doesn't have the same result, right? Where it's like, I want that, I want to be that. Why they don't love me like that? I got the numbers. I got the subscribers, I got the followers. Why people don't love me like that? What can I do for people to love me like that? Where's the meaning in it? You know? So I think the Kaido wanting to die thing is just a surface level thing. And I've said it before, right? I said it before about Oda, how Oda writes characters. It's not necessarily where Oda knows exactly how these characters feel. I think how Oda writes characters, he creates this world or this character that thinks for itself or for himself or for herself. And if you ask Oda how this character feels, Oda would say, I would presume this character feels like this, but I don't know. And writers have said that before, like they write a character and over time, a character's motivations that it started with does not end there. And a character morphs over time through other changes in the story, even when they're not involved. I don't think he was chasing appreciation, but the thing is, the appreciation or the legend, the status would lead to more meaning in his death. I think he just wanted something grandiose. He only praised Whitebeard's death because of how grandiose the send off was. Whitebeard's death had Rayleigh crying, but that's the thing Kaido missed, right? Whitebeard's death and why it rang off the way it did was more a testament to how he lived. Right? Where Kaido was like, well, people love him like that because look at how he died. Nah. Whitebeard was that guy because of how he lived and what he's willing to risk, which led to his death. So it's just I guess I agree with you, Scatter. He's a contradiction. He was looking at things from the wrong lens. Yeah, I wonder if Oda looks at Gear 5 and he's like, this could be better. Because when you take a step back, right? When you zoom out, I gotta go. When you zoom out, right? When you zoom out from a lot of these things, there's a method to it, right? There's a purpose to it. Oda doesn't have Scopper scold Luffy without it being a means to an end. I think even Oda setting Scopper up to scold Luffy is intentional on his part, right? Where Oda put Scopper in all of these moments, even before this, of sacrifice, these moments to show the type of man Scopper was, so that once Scopper scolded Luffy, what's the ultimate response by everybody? Scopper's right. Scopper's right. For the majority of people were like, Scopper's right, but Oda set it up that way. Where by the time we got to that point, nobody was questioning Scopper's. Well, I don't want to say nobody. There was some people. For the most part, people weren't questioning Scopper's credibility, right? What he's willing to sacrifice, what he's willing to live for, what he's willing to die for, right? All that was set up from the beginning, from the introduction. Yasan, he did this, he did this, he went here, he went here, he talked to Shanks. Everybody was like, no, he right. So then it goes back like, so how long had Oda been planning for Luffy to grow from this senseless, goofy goober? Maybe that was the intent all along. Even Oda's comment about how he wanted to draw something that he cares about, etc. Like, how does Luffy grow from this without losing the essence of Gear 5? I think you can have shits and giggles with structure and preparation. I think you can. It's kind of like the Golden State Warriors, right? The Golden State Warriors would be in a close game, and Steph would come down and shoot like a logo three. Bang. Now, in all actuality, it's a tie game. It's the fourth quarter. It's less than 5 minutes left. Why are you taking a logo three? Right? It's kind of like that's what he does. When it's a tie game and it's less than 5 minutes left and you're doing behind the backs to Clay in the corner, now people are like, what the fuck are you doing? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like there's a way to go about it. You can be a showman in anything. But there's certain things that's like, all right, that's a bit too far. That's a bit too far. I don't know if it's a bad shot if he's shooting 40% from there. If I'm shooting 10% better than everybody else from the logo, it's not a bad shot. A bad shot for you, it ain't a bad shot for me. So for Luffy, he has the leeway based on his personality. The leeway is going to be there, but it comes to a point where it's like, all right. But to be honest, Devil, I think Luffy being locked in um is more so about the execution part of it. I don't think Luffy was executing well in his initial fight versus Emu at all. But I think that was intentional as well by Oda. Why does James Harden keep getting money? Because James Harden is one of he's one of probably the 75 best players to ever touch a basketball ever. Are you one of those people that still believes in the balance of power notion in the OP world? Since you said that how Oda writes, he has even his current characters think differently from before. The balance of power. Here's what I say. I don't even think the balance of power was ever real. Right? Personally, I think the balance of power was always a figment of people's imagination. When I mean people's imagination, just the balance of power is a thing the world government wanted the Yonko to believe. But here's why the balance of power is a genius system, right? Because it not only helps somebody like Whitebeard, it helps someone like Shanks. With the world government incorporating the Yonko system, right? And the warlords, this was all feeding their ego. All right, you have the four greatest pirates. We name them Yonko. We give them bounties that nobody's ever going to chase. They have their own sections of the world. Then we create this warlord system that can only match their power because they're so powerful. If they ever came towards us, we would crumble. So at that point, the balance of power is created, and the other Yonko is starting to believe, damn, I guess we are equal. And then he creates even I want to say the illusion that all the Yonko's subordinates are equal to the other Yonko's subordinates, even if they've never clashed before. Know how crazy that is? Where like that system created this ultimate stalemate that allowed the world government to stay in control with minimal movement. Minimal movement. It was just to control. That's it. It was just to maintain control. It is chef's kiss how they created the balance of power. Because it's just more tedious. It's just more tedious. But let's have them own the new world. Yeah, it's like, all right, go ahead. You own there. You own there. Cool. It helps us out. And then for Whitebeard, helps him out. Shanks, it helps him out. I don't like it's I think it's beautiful, honestly. Um the closest we saw to the balance of power I think Marineford. No, 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 not Marineford. Marineford is an example, right? But I think what we know now dispels all that bullshit. For instance, Marineford completely killed the notion that the Yonko have a chance. The strongest man in the world and his great fleet, the largest fleet. He had the largest fleet. For all intents and purposes, got low diffed. They got embarrassed. And that's with the help of plot, Luffy, the people that were helping Luffy, they got embarrassed. Clyde, I'm done with the chapter. They got embarrassed. And that's with a major piece, and that's with major pieces on the chessboard, not even moving. What if Garp wanted to go after Whitebeard? For real. Let's keep it a bean. What if Garp wanted to go after Whitebeard? They almost got Ace out of there, even while having all their strongest soldiers there. They almost got Ace out of there. Why? Dofi wasn't doing shit. Bo and Hancock flip sides. Mihawk was just daydreaming. Bro, it was an embarrassment. It was a low diff. And let's say Emu drops. Garp is getting his ass ate by Whitebeard. What are you saying, Clyde? Are you saying Bull was destroying Pacifista? Counter argument: if Whitebeard didn't value his crew's lives, he could have just flipped Marineford over and sunk the whole island. We have somebody that can create ice out of anything. I think here's my take. I think the Garp that was at Marineford, I don't think he's overwhelming Whitebeard, but if it gets drug out, Garp was eventually gonna win. He was eventually gonna win. Like I said, again, when we think about the narrative and strategy, Garp couldn't have been involved. Garp couldn't have been serious. Because if Garp is serious, bro, I think sometimes people forget just how casual Kizaru was in Marineford, how casual Kuzan was in Marineford. Yeah, Whitebeard tried to send an attack and then the admirals just blocked it. And let's say push came to shove, and he decided to send out a couple god knights with an omen. Push come to shove. Let's send out Sommers, Killingham, and Gunko with omens. If I enclose all these pirates in the enclosure area and I put up Sommers thorns, how many of them niggas is dying? How many of them niggas is dying? If I put Sommers thorns at a place and have Gunko make it basically an escalator for all the fodder, how many niggas is dying? It. I think. I think. I think. They're cooked. They're cooked, bro. They're cooked, bro. And one thing that doesn't get mentioned enough is Luffy's assault on Marineford. It bolstered the Whitebeard pirates. They were kind of getting rocked. They were getting rocked. Here's the thing. Here's why I say they got low diffed, right? Basically, when we think of the Whitebeard pirates, Whitebeard died, Ace died, Marco got arrested. um, hella niggas got spanked. And for the most part, outside of Akainu, everybody else, all of the captains for the most part, were pretty much fresh. I don't know what y'all thought Whitey Bay was gonna do or Curiel. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough because I love Whitebeard. Couple Yonko teaming up would be different. Thunder God Magai, yeah. Marco should have gotten executed. I mean, bro, it's so Marco should have gotten killed right away. They had this nigga running around the battlefield. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Marineford is so funny when you go back and read it. Watching it is even more hilarious, but reading it, I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. All the Yonko versus the Marines, Yonko are winning. With back then or now? Shanks and Blackbeard's crew together would do damage. Y'all don't even respect Blackbeard's crew. Why y'all bring up Blackbeard's crew? Let's say back then Blackbeard's crew, nobody respects anybody other than Blackbeard and his crew. We only respect Kuzan now. Everybody else is ass as far as perspective. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And Shanks's crew, they living off hearsay at this point, my nigga. All right. Ben Beckman is living off of hearsay and one moment where Kizaru put his hand up, but then Kizaru right after that started shooting after the submarine again. He said, "Oh, Ben Beckman." Niggas don't respect Shiryu. Bro, I went back and looked at top 30. Shiryu was consistently 29. Consistently 29 on niggas' list. 29, 28, 26. I still believe Ben Beckman over Kaido to this day. Bro, niggas, Ben Beckman was clocking niggas with his flintlock. Right? We ain't see one hockey feat. This nigga just look cool. All of a sudden, he can beat other Yonko and shit. Bro, you gotta show me. You gotta show me something. This nigga Yasop blow up a ship. Oh my god, he can beat an admiral. Lucky returns into a bowling ball. Nigga, you mock Vice with wheels. What is we talking about? We only respect one nigga. The Zakagami. She was always my top 20. I think the highest she ever got to was 15. Yeah, you probably should be higher. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. Nah, I think you gotta respect Shanks' crew. I think Blackbeard's crew is disrespected and underrated as well. Can Harden beat Lucky Roo? Why not? Sasuke being a fraud. I saw like some Sasuke discussion earlier, not earlier, yesterday on Twitter, where apparently niggas hate Sasuke. I'm like, this ain't new. Niggas been hated Sasuke. When Naruto was going on, niggas hated Sasuke. The first time I felt a hate wave for Sasuke is everybody remembers this episode. Is the first time they see Sasuke. And it like they build it up and you see Sasuke, he comes to Naruto and he's like they're like slow-moing it. And from that moment on, niggas was like, oh, fuck this nigga. Fuck Sasuke. We don't mind none of my niggas. This is what you try to do. Niggas been hated Sasuke. I ain't gonna lie. The peak of my Sasuke hate was after the Itachi reveal. After all that shit, this nigga decided, I'm gonna kill the Leaf. I'm gonna destroy the Leaf Village. I said, this nigga cannot be fucking serious. Are you kidding me? I hate it. I was like, this nigga's not real. And then he said he wanted to be Hokage. Kill him! Bro, I tapped into my Tobirama bag so bad. I'm like, kill all of them. Bro, end the bloodline today. How do we get here? But then, yo, when Killer Bee put the beats on him, bro. When Killer Bee put the beats on him, I was like, damn. I feel kind of bad. And then, I think after Danzo, I was kind of Team Sasuke again. After Danzo, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Then, the Kage Summit, I'm not gonna lie. I was rocking. I've been Team Sasuke since then. Because, you know, the Leaf Village is fucked up. It is. The Leaf Village is fucked up. I think it'd be better if he said he wanted to kill the foundations of the Leaf Village and how it was. I think the story that about the Leaf Village that fucks me up the most, that I'm like, bro, this should have been killed these higher ups. I think is the one about the Hyuga. The Hyuga clan story. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, they gotta go. This is like how they operate. And it wasn't just the Leaf Village. All of these like villages were just so messed up, bro. I don't know how we got here, KB, but you know, we 2 hours in, so Shadows, my guy. He says, sorry for me being annoying, but do you think Dormiverse amp up one's hockey as much as people say, besides just physicals? Wouldn't that contradict hockey your will, and in Dorm Reverse, your will and movement serves Emu. So base Abet can do some semblance of a solo sky split. Dorm Reverse, all right. Does Dorm Reverse amp up one's hockey because of the will? Hmm. One that contradict hockey, your will, and in Dome Reverse, your will of movement serves Emu. That's a good point. That's a good point. As far because I was thinking about like if somebody's Dome Reversied, and with Dome Reversey, it is somewhat. It does take over your will because it can control you. But as far as the control, if I have control over you, then I can direct your will. But if I can direct your will, then I can bring out or amplify it. I can target it a bit more. Um, like I said, that whole concept of will in hockey is difficult because when we talk about with Luffy, um, running out of hockey per se, we had to wait to go back to Gear Fourth. That's an interesting concept. Because isn't Dome Reversi a form of omen? I mean, you do get buffs all over, and the thing is, you are getting physically stronger. As far as willpower, like here's the thing. Conceptually, right? Would we say Eustace Captain Kids? Would you say his will is weak? Would we say that? How do we compare Kid's will versus Luffy's will? Right? Because Kid was willing to go fight Shanks again after what happened to him. Isn't that intense, insane will? How do we measure willpower? I think, bro, here's the honest to God truth about it. The honest to God truth about it is that willpower is intentionally vague because with no measuring stick, you can make it as strong as or as weak as you need to be, as it needs to be. Right? So I don't know how you measure it. It says ego rather than will. Okay. 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 Kid never used Conqueror's hockey. But that's what I'm saying. That doesn't mean he has weak will. It's been shown that Emu has 3 ways to buff someone: stabbing them with tentacles, flipping them, or contract. So he stabbed rocks. He flipped the giants. He gave Harold a contract. I would assume that a direct stab gives the biggest buff. But how does that affect one's will? That's a tough one, Shadows. I don't know. But I think it's intentionally vague because Oda can't quantify it. I don't think Oda knows. Because yeah, your will should be zapped once you're being controlled. You should be a shell of yourself based on you not being able to use Conqueror's Hockey or bring that out. But it could be a situation where once you have that, it amplifies the base will that you already have. So it buffs the will that you have because now it's more targeted and controlled. That could be the logic to it. Aced, probably like over 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes, something like that. I don't know, but like the gear forth and running out of will thing, it's been like questions about it. Direct stab didn't work on Luffy and Loki, so what does that mean? I can't. Here's my thing. There's no way that I'm going to say that Luffy and Loki it didn't. Oda can't feed me that bullshit. Oda can't feed me that Luffy and Loki didn't work on them because of their will. That's not gonna work, Oda. That's not gonna work. I'm sorry, that's not gonna work. There's no way you're going to tell me that somebody like Rox Dizabek did not have insane willpower. Not only to get to the flower room, but to leave the flower room with what he wanted right in front of him. Sorry. I need something better. No. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If that comes out and Oda says, well, it's because Luffy and Loki has insane will, I'm gonna crash out. Crash out. Don't tell me that this is because of their willpower. No, it don't work. Because this is unique in both cases. Beck and Harold, during their ending, they didn't try and clash with the attack that ended them. They just stand there. That's not how Oda draws fights. That's been a conversation too, because people kind of scale Loki really highly based on what he did to Harold, based on what Scopper said about Harold and Domi versus Harold, based on how Emu felt about what Harold was. So even with that fight, there's some people that feel like Harold was somewhat holding back in that moment. And it seems like once you get to a point, you do have some control and some will. Right? So I don't even know if it ever gets fleshed out more. I think this might be all we ever get when it comes to if somebody gets Domi University, then they get defeated. How much will do they have in those moments, especially towards the end? It seems like Roger and Garp beat it out of Zebek. The only lead we've got is the Devil Fruit, and Devil Fruit doesn't work for me either. That doesn't work for me. Unless Oda establishes, there are like specific Devil Fruits that contradict emus, blah, 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 cool. But it can't just be Devil Fruit. Because if it's Devil Fruit, I'm wondering if that's something Rox would know. Because Rox was searching for a couple of Devil Fruits. He was. But Emu still tried to Dome reverse them, knowing that they had Devil Fruits, though. So it's like, I think Loki's a little the buff version of Harold in all stats. I don't know. Chopper had more will than Rox. I don't know what the hell is going on with Chopper. If Chopper reversed it because he has a Devil Fruit, that'd be like, no. Yeah, he figured it wouldn't work, but like, if it's definitely okay, here's the thing. There's a thing as far as like knowing it wouldn't work, and you figure it wouldn't work, right? It's kind of like, all right, it's 550 on the bench, right? You know you can't lift 500 pounds. You're not even going to try to do it. As opposed to, all right, 300. So no, it can't be devil fruits. It can't be. Yeah, Biblo. I think the Biblo section was super unnecessary. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was unnecessary. I didn't like the Biblo section in this chapter at all. Why? It's one page for no reason. Now I get it's a conversation piece, it's something that we can talk about, it's speculate what could happen, but yeah, that's what Emu did. Pulled up with the wrist straps. That's exactly what he did. Um, but yeah, this was a good chapter. Yeah, I think the only reason why the Biblo section was in here was to somehow enhance the weight, where it's more things to speculate and talk about because another break was coming. Because that Biblo page, unnecessary. It had no need being in the chapter when it served absolutely no purpose other than for speculation. Yeah, I love the chapter. Chapter was great. I mean, I really like the chapter. But it's choppy. It's choppy, and we know what the reason why it's choppy, and it's unfortunate, but I definitely like the chapter for sure. But yeah, y'all, great stream, great chapter. I promise I'm gonna try to get the guys tomorrow. So we can discuss the last. I was about to say the last month of chapters, the last 4 chapters. So the last 6 months of chapters, we're gonna try to get the guys together to talk about it. I ain't talked to the guys in a minute. I miss talking to the guys. I know some of the guys are at Anime NYC this weekend, but oh, you didn't like it, Ace? Oh, wait. Are you surprised that I was gonna like it? You didn't like it? Oh, why you think I wasn't gonna like it? Devil, pull up tomorrow for the stream. We need another Grove. Okay. Here's what I'll say. There's something like the Grove coming. It's just not gonna have all the members of the former Grove. I say that. So not enough hands. Drew, I don't know when One Piece has ever had enough hands for me. I'm not gonna cap. After work hours, yeah. It's definitely gonna be later in the day, for sure. Later in the day, later at night. It's gonna be at night. It's gonna be at night, and I'm trying to get back on Twitch. I am. Invite 7. This chapter feels the same as the Kizaru versus Luffy chapter. It took me out of the arc a little bit, but it's not as bad as people made it seem. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. The Kizaru versus Luffy chapter? I'm trying to see the through line. Wait. Which Kizaru versus Luffy chapter? Like, are you talking about the where he used the Dawn attack? or when he was eating Kizaru's light, Jet Stamp, killing his clones. Which one? Because when Luffy ran out of Gear 5. Ah, okay. I literally just read that chapter today. Okay. I didn't love that chapter. That's not 1091, is it? Oh, Luffy acting like the damage don't matter. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I'm not gonna lie, Ace, I'm past it. I'm past it. I'm I'm numb. No. So it's 1091 is one of my favorite Luffy moments when he blitzes Kizaru and says we're 100 times stronger. I love that moment so much. Luffy trashed Kizaru, not gonna lie. I don't feel that in the Luffy versus Kizaru fight, but I hear ya. Like it doesn't feel like a fight. To be honest, it does not feel like a fight. It doesn't. It doesn't. It feels. I like I said. I recently reread this fight. It feels like a spirited spar. It doesn't feel like a fight. There's a reason why this is one of the worst fights in One Piece. No, here's why Kizaru versus Luffy doesn't feel good. It's because one, we know for a fact Kizaru was just trying to kill Vegapunk, right? We know that for a fact. And two, and this is through people's words and process of elimination. And we know mentally Kizaru didn't want to be there because of Vegapunk. And we also know now, when I talked to Vincent Chanzard, he said they were specifically told not to either use Conqueror's Haki or Haki on Luffy's attacks in the anime. Yeah, there was a chapter called Luffy vs. Kizaru. I believe that's 1091 or 1092, one of them. Right? So if we use that information where the animators are told, hey, no Conqueror's Haki, no Haki for Luffy in the Kizaru fight. Kizaru's not even trying to fight Luffy. He's trying to get Vegapunk. This leads to like a terrible outcome. Terrible outcome. Terrible outcome. This is the most, it's not the worst fight in One Piece. It is the most disappointing fight in One Piece history. The most. And the thing is, I don't know if it's gonna feel that way for everybody, but when you've been in the community for as long as I have, and as much as Admirals and Yonko have been talked about for years, when we finally have an opportunity for them to face off and it be this underwhelming, especially after Sabaody, where Kizaru was the reason why all this kind of fell apart, kinda, and for it to be executed like this, The most disappointing fight in One Piece. Disappointing. I'm trying to think of other anime where it was something like this. What's another anime where we had like a matchup and it was like, oh, this didn't live up to the hype? I'm thinking of other anime where something like this happened. Stop, Drew. Don't say that. Stop. Don't say that, please. Hisoka versus Crollo. Here's the difference. Don't. No. Here's the difference. Hisoka versus Crollo was a product of insane planning and amazing execution on one side. It wasn't a bad fight. It was just an overwhelming fight. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't disappointing. It was just that one person was just better and more prepared. I was thinking Seven Deadly Sins, but I don't remember all the fights in Seven Deadly Sins. But I remember there are a lot of matchups in Seven Deadly Sins where I'm like, this was ass. I hate even talking about Seven Deadly Sins because I love Escanor. I love Escanor so much, and I used to love Meliodas, but that anime was the same. Okay, that anime, Seven Deadly Sins, did the same thing where it's almost like damage doesn't matter. It seems like everybody's immortal. Now Meliodas has one of my favorite attacks, right? Full counter. I love that shit. But it just got weird. But I love Escanor though. Love Escanor. It's like I say, even like, that's why some things are just necessary sometimes where we have anime that don't provide much as an entire story where you have amazing moments that you can get from them. Like for instance, I think The Promised Neverland. Overall a flop, but that first season was damn good. That first season was damn good. Damn good. Are the songs on Don Brago privated? There's a lot of videos on Don Brago privated. There's a lot of videos on Brago DA's privated. I feel like there's like probably 4 years of stuff privated. Yuta versus Kenjaku was disappointing. Yeah. We had a lot of high hopes for Kenjaku. Yeah, the Elaine thing was just. Yeah. I've never watched Soul Eater on private, the gay stream. That's the one that's never being unprivated. I think I deleted that one. Yeah, Promise Neverland, Goldie Pond arc made me feel something, man. It made me feel something. The Dressrosa mixtape. That's crazy because it was like at least 8 years ago. Yeah, the Look Alive one is definitely I think it's unlisted. Look Alive is unlisted. Look Alive is unlisted. Why would I delete Peak? Man, I went through some of these streams. I'm like, yo, we were wilding. All right, we were wilding on those streams. I'm like, yo, if this get clipped up, yeah. I do. So I do. I'll be like, what the fuck? Why would I say that? Or I'll be like, why the hell would he say that? I'm like, why would he? Why? I'm like, oh God. Ah. And what was it? That was the start of Goggle Boys, where was saying, would you 69 your girl while your boy hitting it from the back and the ball's hitting your forehead? Either way, man. Either way. Oh yeah, not even tweets, even like posts that I'd have, and I'm like, what was I doing? You know, back then when you're younger, you post like I used to just post anime characters. We'd be like, ah man, Goku, I love him so much. He's the one of the best fighters. I'm like, oh fucking hell. Oh God. Yeah. We were just like, it was just scenario based content. Scenario based content. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. It's out the mud. Yeah. Nah, you're right. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm not gonna say too much. But yeah, we definitely gonna shoot for a stream tomorrow. What was I thinking about doing? I was thinking about redoing those spreadsheets with the guys. I was thinking about having like a stream where we just try to build out. I was gonna have a stream ranking all the Elbath characters with the spreadsheet. That's what I was thinking about doing. When I say Elbath, meaning the God Valley characters too. But we'll see. Y'all be safe. I should see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night. And